welcome to Cooking with Christina, Caregiver Edition. So as the title suggests, my name is Christina, and if I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, I work in the Home Instead office here in Riverside, and I have done videos similar to this actually for one of our local senior centers, and we call it Cooking with Christina. And we at the office thought it would be fun to take this and change it a little bit into a caregiver edition. So we are just going to be cooking up some very basic food items. These are probably things you might already know how to cook. You guys probably have a lot more knowledge in some of these areas than I do even. I am not a chef, but I do love to cook and prepare food and would be happy to walk us through just how to prepare some basic food items. So I'm very excited for this time. I'm going to be introducing what we'll be doing in this particular video in just a moment. But like I said, I wanted to just explain a little bit of who I am. I work in the office actually as our marketing representative for our Home Instead Riverside office. So my job is to share about what Home Instead does with the community. So if I haven't had a chance to talk to you or to meet you, I'm normally out and about doing a lot of just networking events, meetings, etc. So this is a fun, different thing for me to be able to do with you guys. And today what we're going to be preparing is something that seniors love to be able to eat. And our hope is for all of these videos actually to be to equip you guys with tools and even just different tips and techniques and tricks to prepare foods that seniors themselves really like to eat. So when we get calls from different clients asking for certain food items, we've kind of brainstormed a couple of those main ones that we get calls about, or main ones that we just know seniors like to eat in general. And we're going to be preparing those together. So the first one, I know I'm circling back around, the first one that we're going to be doing today is eggs. So who out there likes eggs? I really like eggs. I love eating eggs. I like eggs scrambled. I like them over a piece of avocado toast. I like hard-boiled eggs. I just happen to like eggs. I don't know if you like eggs. If you do, great. If not, this is a great food to be able to prepare for your senior clients, to be able to eat safely and I was going to say comfortably from their own home. That's a little weird, but we are going to be talking about eggs because seniors do love to eat them and they are relatively safe for them to eat in general. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be preparing a couple different types of eggs. So I shouldn't say types, they're all from a chicken. But the type I'm referring to is the method at which we're going to cook them. So we're going to be cooking the eggs a number of different ways today. And so I've got everything all prepared and ready to go. I'm actually meeting you here in my own kitchen, at least portion of it. And we are going to be using my stovetop over here. We also have a lot of ingredients that we're going to be throwing in there today. And we're going to be preparing eggs in 4 different ways. There's many ways that people can prepare eggs, and if I were to look up the history of when people started to eat eggs, I don't think we could technically track it because it's, a while back ago people started eating eggs. But we do know that some of these different types of dishes, just a little fun fact, some of them became a little bit more popular in, I should say, more recent times within the last couple hundred years. So we're going to talk about just the different methods in which to cook eggs during this class today. And why don't I just go ahead and get started by telling you what kinds we're going to be preparing. So we are going to be using some nice regular eggs that we've got here from the store, just regular, whatever eggs you prefer. If you prefer, just large, if you prefer regular size, brown, white, doesn't matter. And we're just going to be using some eggs for today. And we're going to be preparing them over easy, over hard, scrambled, and then we're going to make an omelet, which should be a lot of fun. All of those will be fun. And I'm going to explain to you just the differences between all those different types. So that way, if you get someone who's asking you, hey, can I get an over easy egg? You're not like, what is over easy? You guys probably already know this, but just in case you run into that situation, now you'll know actually how to prepare an over easy egg. And so we're going to be talking about all the different kinds during this class today. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So we actually are going to be starting with an over easy egg. Now, over easy, I don't know what you guys think of when you think of an over easy egg. Sometimes people get it mixed up with sunny side up. I'm going to show you today the difference between the two. So if someone does ask you for a sunny side up, you can see what that looks like. But if someone asks for, if a client asks for over easy, I will be demonstrating that as well. So what I'm going to do to start, this one is very basic as far as preparation. Literally, I'm just going to turn this guy on, turn my burner on. We have this lovely little pan right here that is pretty much the perfect size for an egg. So we are going to be cooking our egg in this today. I'm going to place that over, like medium-high heat. Just medium high, not too high because you don't want it to burn, but not too low because you want it to cook quicker than, taking too long. So we're going to put it over like medium-high heat. And just checking the flame out, looks good. I just use a little bit of olive oil in the pan. You're more than welcome to use butter. You can use coconut oil, whichever you or your client prefers. So it just depends on what your preference is. I use olive oil because it tends to be a little bit healthier for you. But again, it doesn't matter which kind you use. Some are going to be a little bit better than others. The olive oil will also just help it to be able to not stick to the pan. So you want to choose a non-stick pan as non-stick as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my little spatula right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and switch that olive oil around. This is going to be the easiest preparation in the world for our over easy egg. See that play on words? I'm going to grab one of our eggs over here. So we've got a nice egg just right here. I'm going to crack it straight on the pan and then just let it drop down in the pan. Okay, so let's go ahead and crack it. All right, you want to try and make sure that you keep the yolk as intact as possible. So I know it's a little bit hard to see. I'm going to take the computer over so you can see a little bit better. All right, so we've got our egg in there. And let's go ahead and take a peek. So this is our nice looking egg. Nothing too special. That right there looks sunny side up. Can you agree? Yes, it looks sunny side up. I'm going to tell you the difference between sunny side up and over easy in just a moment. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to the egg. This is not necessary if someone doesn't like any salt or pepper on their egg, but to me this really does help give it good flavor. So we're going to go ahead and add a little salt, and then I'm going to crank some of that pepper right over the top. And that's pretty much it for this over easy egg. Very easy to prepare. So be encouraged if you were a little intimidated by the over easy. It's very easy. So what is sunny side up versus over easy? So sunny side up is actually if you were to leave the egg in the pan just like this and you were not to flip it. So if you were to leave it just like this and you were to let it cook without flipping it, that is sunny side up. Now for that technique, you would want to leave it in there a little bit longer. You want to make sure that the yolk is not cooked all the way through, but you want to make sure it's definitely hot enough and safe enough to be able to eat. We're going to go ahead and turn that flame more so medium. What we're going to do is you kind of hear it bubbling, sizzling. Ooh, wow. Put on quite a show for us right now. So you hear it sizzling. That's good. That means the underside is cooking. So what over easy means, distinguishing that between over easy and sunny side up, is we're going to flip the egg over, but we're not going to cook the yolk all the way through. So when you know it's ready to flip is when the edges, okay, yeah, this is great. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm doing. So you can kind of see how the edges are staying intact when I move it around. Yeah? We're going to go ahead and I'm going to try and do this ever so gently. You're going to try and get the majority on your spatula, and you want to just give it a nice flip. You don't want to break the yolk. See how our yolk is not broken. Don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely still intact. This is our over easy egg. very easy to prepare. We're literally just gonna let it sit in the pan. And over easy again is where the yolk is still runny. It's not cooked all the way through, but we are not leaving it on its original side like sunny side up. So sunny side up would be if we had left it without flipping it. Over easy is right here. We flipped it, but we are not going to crack the yolk. We're not going to let it run. We are going to keep it runny. So after a moment or so, you can kind of go ahead and take a peek. How's it looking? It looks pretty good to me. You don't need to leave it as long on the second side as you did the first side. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and plate this one, and we're gonna start with our other ones in just a moment. So you wanna just make sure, okay, I think this is ready to be plated, if I can do it okay. And honestly, here's the thing. This is a demonstration. It might break. Oh no, it did not break. Wonderful. Okay, so this is, oh, it's a little glary. Let's see. This is our over easy egg, and inside there is a runny yolk. That is our over easy egg. You could probably even, it looks like it's a little runny, but it looks like it could have been taken off even sooner to make it extra runny, depending on how you like it or your clients like it. Okay, so that is our first type of egg that we are making, is over easy. Next one, which is one of my favorites, is actually going to be over hard. So what I'm going to do is, there's still some oil here in the pan. I'm just going to kind of swish it around, and I'm going to turn the heat back up a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing, crack the egg just straight on the pan. Oh yeah. And we're going to drop it in there. Now this is over hard. So over easy was where the yolk is still runny. Over hard is where the yolk is not runny. Now, contrary to how many people enjoy eating their eggs, I actually don't really love a runny yolk. It's not my thing. It's a little bit gooey, not my favorite. And so that is why this is one of my personal favorites to be able to make, if I want to make an egg this way, if I don't want to scramble it or make an omelet, because it's nice to be able to eat it without the yolk being runny, in my opinion. If you like Eggs Benedict, or if you like any of those, like egg in a hole, which is egg, inside a piece of bread, any of those are going to call for a runny yolk. Of course, you're more than welcome to do that. I just personally don't prefer it. So I'm going to show you actually how to make one of my favorite breakfasts. And this is super easy to prepare. Would be really easy to prepare for one of your clients, and is really not that difficult, and has a lot of nutrients, and will keep you full, or keep them full, for a long time. And that is avocado toast with an egg on top. So an over hard egg on top. You're welcome to do the over easy one now. So I'm just gonna actually pop down a piece of bread while we're waiting. Before work, don't always have the most time to prepare breakfast. And this actually happens to be a pretty time, how do I say that? Time-saving breakfast to be able to make. I typically pop my yolk right here, just so that it runs throughout the whole egg. I prefer it that way, but for the sake of showing you, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you. So see, this is sunny side up. So if you ever want to make a sunny side up egg, you would just continue cooking it like this. I do not want my egg sunny side up. I'm going to flip it, and I actually don't really care as much with this one. If the yolk breaks, I'm going to flip it, and it's kind of glary, but I'm going to allow it to cook just like that on medium heat. And keep an eye on my toast over there. So while that is continuing to cook, I also put a little salt and pepper on that, if you noticed. While that is continuing to cook and the toast is toasting, we're gonna go ahead and grab an avocado. Yum. If you guys like avocados, like I do, they are really delicious with eggs. So how we're gonna slice, again, you probably know how to do this, but we're gonna slice an avocado. We're gonna slice it in half, just like so. So just run your knife along that pit. You can feel it as you push your knife into the avocado, and then you twist it. And what a nice looking avocado we've got. I didn't even know that was gonna look that good inside. So we've got a little avocado right here. I'm gonna use this side If you're familiar with avocados, you want to keep the one with the side with the pit in it, and put that in like an airtight container, Tupperware, or even a Ziploc bag. That will help keep this side fresh without getting all oxidized and brown. This side we're going to use for our avocado toast. And I'm keeping an eye on it, on our egg. It's actually feeling nice and firm, which is wonderful. I'm going to flip my toast. Oh, my toast is actually done. Wonderful. So my toast is all done. So we're gonna go ahead and take out that piece of toast. This is so basic. Again, y'all might know how to do this and more. We are going to check on our egg over here. Oops. Okay. I think this is looking really great. All right. I'm going to squish the avocado onto the toast. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to squish this avocado just straight onto the toast. And I'm personally going to use garlic salt with fresh ground black pepper. That is a really tasty option. Typically, if the avocado is a little bit more ripe than this one is, this will spread a little bit easier. So what you can do is you can just go ahead and slice it however you would like. This actually is not as tricky as the restaurants might make you believe. I just turned our heat off the egg, by the way. That way we can allow the egg to sit and stay warm but not get overcooked. So we're gonna go ahead and just spread this on the bread just like so. Never ever pay $10 for avocado toast in the store when you can make your own at home. It's very easy. Okay, very basic. We got the avocado spread all over the bread just like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the garlic salt. So we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of the garlic salt. Now, when I say a little bit, make sure that you're starting with a little bit and just sprinkling it because it's garlic salt, it's not garlic powder. The more you sprinkle, the more salty it will be. And remember that we already put salt on our egg. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of pepper. So I seasoned the avocado right there. And I'm literally gonna go ahead and just plop that right on top. That is a very firm yolk in there. It looks like, yep, it's cooked all the way through. And just for looks, I'm gonna go ahead and top it with a slice of avocado. And maybe another one just for the aesthetics. All right. And you can also put, there's different ways to do avocado toast. You can put red pepper flakes. You can do, I like the everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's is delicious. You can make a lot of different variations of avocado toast. But there you have your little avocado toast with some garlic salt, pepper, an over hard egg, and some avocado on top. You can give it a little sprinkle if you want to do something fancy, make your client feel really loved and special that you made a nice presentation for them. If you have time, I know that you guys have a lot of responsibilities to do for sure. But those are our two options that we have here. So we have the over easy, over hard with the avocado toast. And I am going to take a bite real quick and just try it out. That is delicious. Very good. Okay. So, that tastes very tasty. Okay, the next one that we're gonna do is we're actually going to scramble some eggs. So let me go ahead and prop the video back up. This is kind of fun. It feels like cooking breakfast with you in my own kitchen. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna scramble some eggs. Again, very basic, probably know how to do this. But in case you either needed a refresher or needed to learn how, that's why we're doing these video tutorials. So to scramble eggs, this is very basic, but we're going to go ahead and crack 2 eggs into this little dish, and we're going to add just a dash of milk. I never measure the milk. You're more than welcome to measure if you like to. I kind of go off of what color it is when I'm whisking it. So it's not very measured, but you can go ahead and just eyeball it. The milk helps it to be fluffy. If they can't do milk like regular milk, they're dairy, intolerant. You can also do almond milk. It has a different flavor to it, but it still works. It depends on, you know, if they can't have regular milk, other milks will work. But it helps it to be creamy and fluffy. So you want a little bit of milk in your scrambled eggs. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just crack those 2 eggs straight in here. So I'm trying to show you, but my camera's a little bit up there, so I'm gonna squat down here. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and crack that. Try not to get any little bits and pieces in there. That is always preferred. There, that. You can see that. Okay, we're gonna crack the second one. Now we're just making a 2-egg scramble right now. You can definitely do more than 2 if you've got a hungry client that you are trying to feed, but we are just gonna go ahead and do 2. I'm gonna add just a dash of milk in there. So here I have just some regular 2% milk. So I'm gonna add just a little dash, okay? And I'm gonna scramble it together, or not scramble it, I'm gonna whisk it together. And let's see what color it is. If it's kind of a pale yellow, that's actually what I'm specifically looking for. If it's too yellow, I can always add a little more milk. Unfortunately, if it's too pale, you might have to add another egg if you don't like the color, but I think that having a little bit more milk rather than too little milk is actually better in my opinion, but it just helps it to be fluffy. So again, you're just scrambling it together. Nothing fancy here. While I'm doing this, we're gonna go ahead and get that salt and pepper ready. I like to kind of whisk it a lot, if you can tell. I feel like it helps make it a little bit more fluffy. So I think that's pretty good. We're gonna crack a little bit of this black pepper in there, not too much, just a couple of turns. I'm gonna put some of the salt, just a little bit. Again, these are optional if your client does not like salt or pepper in their food. Give it another whisk. And then what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to swap pans at this point. So we're going to use this larger pan, and why I'm using, it's not even large, it's a medium-sized pan, but why I'm gonna be using this rather than the small one is it will actually help these scrambled eggs to cook a little faster. The eggs will spread across a wider surface level. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that heat on. This is gonna be medium. You don't want to scramble your eggs on too high of a temperature because that will kind of make them chunky, it could burn them, and the best way to do it is medium over a little bit of time. And so what we're gonna do for that is, I lost my olive oil, oh here it is. So we're gonna put a little olive oil in that pan again. Again, you can also use butter. You do not have to use olive oil. I'm just gonna add a little bit of the olive oil, just like so. And I'm gonna use that same spatula I used for our over eggs, and I'm going to go ahead and swish this around. Awesome. This is a really great non-stick pan. If you have non-stick for scrambled eggs, that is always best. This is our best non-stick pan that we have. And I'm going to just pour the eggs in there like so. And I put this bowl off to the side because we are actually going to use it again. And I realized I need something for my drawer, so I'm gonna step over here. Personally, like to make the scrambled eggs with a spatula. So I'll show you why. If you've made scrambled eggs before, you know why, but I will show you if you haven't. So what you want to do with the scrambled eggs is it's starting to cook for sure. You want to just push in the sides, and you're going to start forming little lumps. Now that does not sound appetizing, does it? So little lumps start to form. It's okay if some sticks to the pan. That's actually pretty normal with scrambled eggs. But if we've oiled enough, it should be, for the most part, not sticking. So these scrambled eggs are scrambling fairly quickly. And so what I'm doing is I'm just gonna kind of move our eggs around. I want them to be cooked. There's actually different levels of scrambles. I was looking up more information on scrambled eggs one time and realized you could get your eggs scrambled easy, which this would be similar to scrambled easy, where it's still kind of mushy inside. You can do scrambled hard. You can scramble the eggs. You can do it dry. So I know that scrambled well or scrambled dry, that's like there's no mush whatsoever. It's all cooked in through and through. You can get those at a restaurant. there's a lot of different ways that you can actually scramble eggs. And scrambling eggs is a very easy way to make breakfast for your client. It's something that a lot of seniors like to be able to eat eggs. They enjoy the soft texture of them, as well as eggs are an excellent source of protein. These are looking actually really good. I'm just gonna let them cook for a moment. Eggs are an excellent source of protein. They're an excellent source of some vitamins, and just they're healthy for you. And so they're a great option for the seniors who need a little extra protein but aren't wanting to eat meats or things like that. Eggs are a great option. They're wonderful to start the day with. They actually are really good for good cholesterol. So not bad cholesterol, but good cholesterol. They are also, okay, so it's definitely time. I let them sit in one place for a little too long, but that's actually quite all right. Our scrambled eggs are finished. So that was a very simple demonstration of scrambled eggs. But I was telling you guys that scrambled eggs are actually really healthy for seniors in a lot of different ways. Some of the other ways is they help a senior to be able to have healthy fats in their system. So, healthy fats are things like nuts, and even like fish provides healthy fat for seniors, but also eggs do. Eggs are the right kind of cholesterol that they need, and so they are, really good overall. I know you can't really see it. Okay, there you go. Now you can see the scrambled eggs right here. They're super easy to digest, super easy to eat. They're soft, they're mushy. It sounds gross with eggs, but they are. They're really great to be able to make for any senior who needs to get a little protein. And there we have our scrambled egg. We have our over hard egg. We have our over easy egg. And the last thing we're gonna do is make the omelet. So let's put our other egg platter over here aside. And I'm going to grab that bowl that we use to scramble our eggs in, or whisk our scrambled eggs in. And I'm actually gonna make sure this is off. Okay, great. And what we're gonna do for the omelet is we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did to start the scrambled eggs with. So I'm gonna crack 2 eggs in here. I actually have a fun story for you. If you would like to know a fun fact, I looked up the history of omelets, which was kind of fun. And it is said that Napoleon Bonaparte, he was one of the first people to enjoy an omelet ever recorded. Napoleon, who knew? And it was said that he visited an inn on his journey somewhere, and they made him an omelet, and he loved it so much that he just wanted to tell everyone about this omelet that he had. So he kind of popularized the omelet, which is just a fun fact for you to be able to have in your back pocket in case you want to pull that out sometime. But omelets are often associated with the French. Omelette means something in French. I believe it actually has to do with egg itself. And the French were the ones who really did popularize it for, restaurants to have omelets, for families to be able to cook omelets. The French were the ones who popularized it in more modern times. So we're going to go ahead and just whisk this together. For our omelet today, we have a couple very basic ingredients. You can also add to this depending on what your client's preference is. I want to show you that an omelet is so much easier to make than you think. I also realize we've got all of our utensils over here that I'm going to just shove off to the side. We're going to go ahead and just whisk this together. And I'm going to put in a little salt and pepper. And we're going to share about the ingredients we have in our omelet today. So in our omelet today, I'm going to put a little salt, a little pepper, and then I'm going to be adding some red pepper, some onion, and some spinach. All very good things for seniors to eat. You can add cheese if they like cheese. You can add meats if they want a little bit of meat. You want to just make sure with the meat that you cook the meat before you add it in here. So don't add any uncooked meat to your omelet. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on to medium heat. I'm actually going to go ahead and kind of scrape some of this excess egg from before off the sides. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we're gonna try and make our little omelet pan a little bit more presentable. Wonderful. So we've got our pan here. I'm just gonna go ahead and add that olive oil again, so that way it's nicely coated on the bottom. And with the omelet, what we're going to do is we're going to add the egg. Ooh, that was a lot of olive oil. Oops, that's okay. The more the better actually with this, because we really don't want it to stick at all. So I'm going to go ahead and swish that around. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to add the egg first and then sprinkle all the ingredients on there. And then what happens with an omelet is when you flip it over, that is when everything cooks on the inside predominantly. So it's gonna look like it's uncooked on the inside, on the top part. That's okay, it cooks when it's all flipped together. So we're gonna go ahead and just put our eggs in the pan, like so. And then we're going to add our ingredients. This is a medium heat. I'm gonna add my red pepper. You can also, the more eggs you do with an omelet, actually the better. So 3 eggs is typical, but a lot of seniors won't be able to eat 3 eggs if you make 3 eggs for them. So that's why we're doing 2. Okay, so you're just gonna add the ingredients in the middle like that. Just gonna kind of sprinkle the onion. Obviously you don't want too much of everything because then that might be a little bit overwhelming. This is a great way to get in some nutrients for a senior to where they might not be open to it in other ways. So we're gonna just spread some of this spinach around. I'm breaking it up just to make sure it's able to be cooked down. If you know with spinach, it cooks down a ton. So don't worry if it looks all leafy and puffy on this side of the omelet. It will eventually be cooked into the whole thing and it will reduce a lot. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of make sure this is all even around here. I think that looks good enough to me. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. This is our omelet that we're working with. So it's got the red bell pepper, the onion, and the spinach, which are all very healthy for seniors to eat, for anyone to eat, actually. And the bell pepper is high in some vitamins like vitamin C. The spinach is really high in iron and a lot of other major nutrients. Spinach is considered one of the superfoods and is extremely, extremely healthy for you. So anytime you can add spinach to anything for seniors is a good thing, especially if they don't want to eat it in a salad. And then even the onions can be good for seniors and for people in general. And so all of this in here is really healthy. This is a healthy option. You can add cheese again. The cheese adds a different dimension to the health factor, but you're more than welcome to add cheese. You want to make sure the edges get goldeny brown. So I'm kind of just running my spatula around. Now again, this is a live demonstration that I'm doing for you, as in I'm filming this live. It might not turn out super pretty, but it will turn out delicious, I hope. So we're gonna go ahead and flip it in just a moment. But you wanna make sure that the edges are golden. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see this on camera, you can see where when I move it around, it's moving as a whole. That is a really good thing. So what I'm gonna try and do, I think it's ready. Get your spatula as far underneath as you can. Let me see actually, yeah, this is looking good. I might use our other spatula. I have 2 for this very reason. This one's a little bit wider. You wanna get it underneath as much as you can, and we're literally, I might even use this to hold it down. We're gonna just literally flip it over, just like that. And some of the egg might come out, like some of the egg came out. That's okay. That is what's gonna allow this omelet to cook, is when it's flipped over. So the insides are now being able to cook, and you wanna make sure that heat is on medium, not high. You don't want it on too high, but you definitely don't want it on low. And so if you can see, all the ingredients in there are cooking, it's looking good. And then what you'll do is you'll just flip it after a moment, and then you'll have a wonderful omelet to share with your clients. You wanna kind of just, again, move it around, just make sure it's still, oh yeah, this is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this over. You can see the other side is nice and goldeny, which is good for an omelet. You don't want your omelet to be undercooked. But like I said, the insides are gonna be a little softer than the outsides are. But this is pretty much how you cook an omelet. It is so easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And so I just wanted to, share with you guys an easy way to make an omelet where anyone can do this, on their own with their own client as well. And so we're just gonna let that sit for just a moment, and then we're going to plate it, and then we will be done with our eggs series, which has been a lot of fun, getting to do the eggs with you guys. And I was actually looking up a couple fun facts before this class, and I saw something that said a chicken itself, believe it or not, I want you to guess how many eggs you think it lays in its lifetime. It's shocking. It actually lays about 530 eggs in its lifetime, which is a lot. One a day for a span of a couple years, it would seem. And it lays about 530 is the average amount of eggs a chicken lays in their lifetime. And thank goodness, because I do love me some eggs. I'm grateful that we are able to eat them and that they lay that many, because I do love eggs, but that is a lot of eggs for a chicken to lay. So that is your fun fact for today. And we're gonna go ahead and turn the heat off on that. Things that you didn't expect to learn throughout your day today. All right, and I'm just gonna plate that omelet. That is looking golden and delicious. Again, if you had cheese, the cheese would be oozing out of there. If you wanted to use cheese, we're not using cheese for a non-dairy option. But there you have your omelet. And we have all of our egg dishes. So we've got an omelet over easy, over hard on avocado toast. We've also got scrambled right over here, and we've got our omelet. And that is pretty much all for our egg tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me for Cooking with Christina Caregiver Edition on the topic of eggs. And I hope you have an excellent day. You see that? And we will talk to you soon. You can always reach out to our office if you have any questions or need tips or tricks on how to make food for your caregiver or for your clients. And we'd love to be able to help you. And I appreciate you joining us today. And let's go ahead and bite into this guy. Ooh, yummy. If I can get it on my fork. Mmm. Very good. Mmm. Mm-hmm. There you have it. Basics on eggs. Enjoy your day. We'll see you next time.